Good morning. Welcome to the AirTime Overview. We're going to start today with how to get into AirTime and how to access the general AirTime components. When you first come to the AirTime URL, you're going to see a couple of prompts here to log in with your single sign-on or to ask a support question. We're going to go ahead and log in with our single sign-on. Here we're going to put in our SSO and the password for AirTime. And we're going to go ahead and click Login. That's going to take us to the primary screen for AirTime. And let's just take a moment to look at the different components within the AirTime system. First, we have the AirTime logo up in the top left. When you click on this logo, you'll actually get information about the current version of AirTime. So in this, you can actually see that we're running version 1.0.0.532. When we push out new versions of AirTime to the server, all you have to do is refresh your browser in order to get the most current version of the user interface. The next button up here is the logout button. So if you ever need to log out or log back in, this is how you would do it. Just push the logout button and you'll be automatically logged out of the system. On the left-hand side, under the logo here, we have the accordion menuing system. The first menu or first accordion entry is going to be the dashboard. That's always going to be what opens up to begin with. Ops management, time tracking, and various other support and administrative components here. Now you may or may not see every single one of these components. That's going to be controlled based on the roles that you have been assigned. If you're in the administrative role, you're going to see all of these components. If you are in the operations management or a superintendent role, you're going to see fewer of these components. Some of these components are only visible as we are working on the time tracking migration. And so nobody's going to see these other than certain folks that are in development. But whatever you do see on the left is going to be your menuing system. And for each major accordion section, you're going to have individual items within that accordion section that will give you access to those components. So you can just easily click through the accordion to access the different components of the application. And you can see here when we go to Ops Management, we see jobs, purchase orders, and the rest of the items that belong to the Ops Management group. Up along the top, you're always usually going to see a refresh button. Sometimes you're going to see a save button as well if you're on a particular form. You're also always going to see your name up at the top. And this is a good reinforcement for you when you've logged into the system to just look at it and verify that you are in fact logged in as the correct person. If we skip all the way down to the bottom, we're also going to see some interesting information here about our current time tracking project, the current company, the current region and line of business for the user who's logged in here, the current groups to which this user belongs. And then one more time, we're also going to see the current version of the application. So just a nice little status bar down here to show us information about that current user and the application itself. When you first log in, the main page that's going to show up is going to be the dashboard overview. This is going to have a list of jobs that are appropriate for you. As an admin, you're going to see all of the jobs in the system. As ops management, you're going to see all of the jobs that are in your region. So you can bounce back and forth and take a look at all of those. As a superintendent, you're going to see jobs in this list to which you have been assigned. So when you come in, the length and content of this list might be different from person to person, but that's just so that we can keep things as simple as possible and help you focus on the work that you need to do. For each one of the items in this job list, you can select an individual item in this table, and then the menu options that are up here on the top are going to be affecting whatever you have selected. Now, one thing that is important for you to note within AirTime, and you'll see this everywhere, is if you don't see a name for a button, just hover over that button for a moment, and we're going to show you a tooltip that indicates what that button does. For example, this one is going to allow us to view the GIS PDF for a specific job. This is going to allow us to view the medical protocol. This is going to allow us to create a new job log. And this one here is going to allow us to create a new significant event for the selected job. As we bring more and more of the time tracking functionality online, this button will also come into play, and this will allow you to create a brand new time tracking project based on the selected job. Moving on down, we also have information about your current time tracking project here. So this is my current time tracking project. We've got the project ID and the company, a bit of information here, along with a few quick links to help me jump into that project. Now these links won't be active until we actually have the time tracking migration completed. But we've put them here so that you can start to get used to how you're going to see the system initially present itself, and then how you're going to navigate from this dashboard page to whatever it is that you need to accomplish. The next general piece is for any type of editor, and the dashboard was simply presenting a list of information. If we come into ops management to look at job logs, jobs, medical protocols, or anything else, there's a few new components that are added that we want to address in this overview. So now what you're seeing is this whole area on the right-hand side, that's to the right of the accordion, has been split into a right-hand list. So we have a list over on the right-hand side, and then we have an editor in the middle. Now the editor can contain multiple tabs that help us to split up the information that we're going to display for the object that we are currently editing. And the list on the right is tied to the editor that is in the center. So as I select an item in the list on the right, you'll notice that the contents of the editor change. And they will do that as long as I have made no changes here. If I've made any changes in the editor and try to select something else, I'll get a warning telling me that I have changes that I have not yet saved. Do I really wish to abandon those changes, or do I wish to keep those changes and stay on the editor that I was? Up at the top of the editor, you can see that we've not only have the refresh button, we also now have a save button. And this is important. As you make changes in these editors, you must remember, and we will do our best as a system to help you to remember, to press the save button. So before you can navigate away to a different object, take a look at a different job, if you've made any changes, you must choose either to save or to abandon the changes that you have made. We also, on various editors, have multiple other action buttons up at the top. And remember, simply hover your mouse over those in order to see a description of what those action buttons do. This first one on the job editor is going to create a duplicate of the current job. That's just simply to help ops management very quickly and easily replicate a job that they've already set up. We also have the same buttons that you saw on the dashboard, which is to view your GIS, view your medical protocol, start a new job log, or to create a significant event. And those icons are the same, and they will remain the same throughout the application. You're still seeing your name here, and one of the nice things throughout the application when you see your name is that you can click on your name and it will automatically take you back to the dashboard and the overview. It's a very quick and easy way of getting back to the beginning of the application. No matter where you were, this will always take you back to the dashboard and the overview. Also throughout the application, we have enabled double click. If you ever see a table like this one and you want to drill into this particular record, remember, double click. And we will take you to that record. We will highlight that record in the list on the right-hand side, and that will automatically cause that record to come up in the editor. And that's a standard navigation throughout the application. Whenever you see a table, you can double click on the items in that table and it will navigate you to those records. For here, for example, I have purchase orders that are part of this job. And if I double click on a purchase order in that table, you can see that it has jumped me over to the purchase orders item in the Ops Management menu. It has found that purchase order in the list on the right-hand side, and it has opened that purchase order here in the editor in the middle so that I can work with it. So again, double click is an easy way to navigate throughout the application. For all of our lists on the right-hand side, we also have the capability of doing a search. Whenever you see this search box up on the top of the list, you can search for any item within that list. And you can search just by typing. You don't have to specify that you're searching on a specific field. We will look through all of the appropriate fields. So for example, if I wanted to find job numbers that begin with 305, I just simply type 305, and that's going to filter my list. If I wanted to search for job numbers that have an S16 in them, just type S16, and we're going to search throughout the entire list on that. So it's a very easy to use and very powerful search. You can put in a name. And in this case, we're going to search across all the fields and we're going to find a name. In this case, it was the site name that matched your search criteria. So if you're looking for something, use the search on the list on the right-hand side, and that's going to help you to find it. Now, sometimes the search can be a little bit aggressive, meaning if I were to type IND, that's going to find all kinds of names that have IND in them. But most of the time, you're going to know what you're looking for, and you'll be able to type it and jump to it pretty quickly. The entire application is built around these common user interface components. No matter what you're editing or what you're doing, you're going to see the repetition of these common components. The list on the right-hand side, the editor in the middle, the accordion on the left. The last thing to note here is how do I add new things? That's also going to be a common component. If I want to add a new job, a new purchase order, a new employee, a new contact, or any new component, I'm going to find the editor for that component, and I'm going to click the New button up here on the top of the right-hand list. I'm going to click Add New, and that's going to give me a brand new empty editor in the middle, and I can put in whatever information I want here, whatever is appropriate, and then when I'm done editing my information, I'm going to go ahead and click the Save button, and that will create my brand new record. That brand new record will be displayed and highlighted here in the list on the right-hand side, and I'll be able to see that and see it sorted along with everything else in the list. If I ever want to delete something in this list on the right-hand side, I simply have to select what is in the list that I would like to delete, select that item, come up here and click the Delete button. When I click the Delete button, I'm going to get prompted. Are you sure? If I'm not sure and that was a mistake, sometimes you hit the wrong button, just hit Cancel. No harm, no foul. nothing is going to happen. If you do want to delete that particular record, after you hit the delete button, you hit the OK. And when you hit OK, that record is going to be removed from the system. Now, we are going to double check. In certain cases, we have relationships. So for example, this particular contact is associated with an employee record. And so in that case, if I were to hit delete and I were to hit OK, the server is going to give me an error and tell me, I know you tried to delete this, but we actually could not delete this. And here's the reason why. And so we're just telling you, hey, we couldn't delete this because of this reason. So at that point, the More tab, which is displayed on several of these editors, is very useful because you can see what other records these are associated with. And so you know how these are being used throughout the system. So again, all of the editors, all of the components within the application are going to work in a very similar way. You're going to find them in the accordion on the left. You're going to find the specific record that you are interested in on the right-hand list, either by scrolling and selecting or by typing in search criteria. And then you're going to edit existing records here in the middle. You're going to create brand new records by first clicking the Add New button at the top of the right-hand list. And then you're going to edit that brand new information. And you're always, whether you're creating a brand new record or whether you're editing an existing record, you're always going to hit the Save button in order to get your changes applied to the server. So that's the overview of AirTime. Keep following all the rest of the videos. We're going to take you through each and every component within AirTime and walk you through what to do, what it means, and how to use all of the different components. But for now, that's the overview. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.